Watching the slow-motion collapse of Disney's Snow White has felt a lot like watching the Titanic approach an iceberg. Except, in this case, the warnings were loud and clear. Anyone with even a basic understanding of the film industry could have seen this disaster coming from miles away. From the head-scratching casting choices to the bizarre decision to replace the iconic Seven Dwarfs with a group of random extras, or worse, unsettling CGI stand-ins. Every red flag was there. Add to that a lead actress whose outspoken and often controversial remarks have made her one of Hollywood's most polarizing figures, and it was only a matter of time before disaster struck. Yet, instead of course-correcting, Disney ignored every warning sign, sailing full speed ahead into what is now shaping up to be one of their biggest flops in years. The backlash against Snow White has been so intense, it might as well have collapsed into a black hole instead of generating excitement. Every new reveal has only reinforced audience skepticism, making Disney's PR machine face its toughest challenge yet, convincing audiences that this remake is worth their time and money. The most immediate and glaring issue? Grim box office. Projections. Current estimates suggest an opening weekend of just $50 million, a troubling figure when compared to Disney's recent misfires. The Marvels, for instance, barely scraped past $200 million worldwide, despite being part of a major franchise. If Snow White follows a similar path, it could become yet another massive flop for the studio. With such bleak numbers on the horizon, the stakes couldn't be higher. Disney is already reeling from multiple box office failures in recent years, and another high-profile bomb could further erode audience trust. The days of guaranteed Disney dominance at the box office are fading, replaced by a more skeptical, discerning audience that no longer shows up just because Disney tells them to. At this point, it would take a miracle for Snow White to turn things around. And while last-minute marketing efforts might help, the damage may already be done. Despite last-minute marketing efforts, it's hard to shake the unmistakable sense of impending disaster surrounding Disney's Snow White. Whether the film somehow claws its way to financial success or becomes another Hollywood cautionary tale, one thing is clear: this was a train wreck audiences saw coming from miles away. Watching the chaotic unraveling of Snow White has felt eerily similar to being part of the Titanic's lookout crew. They saw the iceberg ahead, sent warnings to the bridge, though honestly, they probably could have just shouted louder and then stood by helplessly as their magnificent ship collided with a mountain of frozen water. It's the kind of catastrophe that would make any insurance company break into a cold sweat. The reality is simple. Anyone with even a basic understanding of the film industry could have predicted this disaster. Whether it was the baffling casting choices, the decision to replace the iconic Seven Dwarfs with a group of random extras, or the uncanny CGI creatures that took their place, every red flag was there. Add to that a lead actress whose candid and often divisive remarks made her one of Hollywood's most controversial figures, and it was clear that trouble was brewing. To make matters worse, the film isn't even getting a traditional premiere, a move that raises even more questions about Disney's confidence in the project. With a grim box office outlook and growing skepticism from audiences, Snow White is shaping up to be yet another cautionary lesson in Hollywood's failure to read the room. Just days ago, reports confirmed that the planned UK premiere of Snow White had been cancelled over concerns about backlash against both the film and its lead actress. Oh no, how shocking! Who could have possibly seen this coming? In all seriousness, it's easy to understand why Disney made this call. The optics of Rachel Zegler and the cast getting publicly booed at their own premiere would have gone viral within minutes, and not in the way Disney would have hoped. But here's the real issue: Rachel Zegler's controversial role. This is like digging one hole just to fill another. Canceling a major premiere means less publicity, and less publicity means even less audience interest in the film. Worse, it's an open admission that yes, people really dislike this movie, and Disney has no idea how to win them over. Their best strategy? Retreat and hope for the best. As if that wasn't bad enough, even the film's US premiere is being drastically scaled back. No red carpet event, no major media presence, and no real opportunity for the stars to promote the film. That's a massive red flag. Red carpet events aren't just about glamorous photo ops, they're essential marketing tools. The fact that Disney is skipping this step entirely signals that even they have little confidence in the movie's success. And let's be honest, putting Rachel Zegler in front of a live mic right now, that's a PR nightmare waiting to happen. Putting Rachel Zegler in front of a live mic right now is about as risky as handing a toddler with ADHD the launch codes to a nuclear missile. She loves to talk, and every time she does, you can almost hear Disney's financial team groaning as she shaves off a few more $1 million from the box office projections. What's even more amusing is how she's now trying to reframe the backlash is a good thing, almost like what Henry Cavill did with The Witcher. Except without the sincerity, honesty, respect, charisma, or even basic likability. Disney's desperate damage control. I interpret people's feelings about this film as passion for it. And it's an honor to be part of something that people are so passionate about, Zegler says. We're not always going to have the same feelings as everyone around us, and all we can do is give our best. Fascinating. This is certainly a new perspective from someone who, until recently, had no patience for people who disagreed with her. Oh no, what happened? What a disaster. But here's the truth. Hiding a problem isn't the same as solving it. The more Disney scrambles to retreat from the controversy surrounding Rachel Zegler, the more they acknowledge that the backlash exists in the first place. Let's be real. If this weren't a problem, they wouldn't be running from it. But they are. Rachel Zegler single-handedly created this mess, and Disney has no idea how to fix it. Their only strategy now seems to be damage control. But here's the real issue. If you show a complete lack of confidence in your own film before it even releases, you're basically admitting to the world that you know it's going to fail. Titani se bambishari bin bamatik. This point, the damage isn't just limited to this one movie. No, it's much worse than that. The fallout from Snow White 2025 could send shockwaves through Disney's entire live-action remake strategy, possibly even impacting the company as a whole. Frankly, shelving the theatrical release and quietly dumping it onto Disney Plus might have been the better option. At least then, they could have cobbled together some obscure streaming metric like most minutes watched on a Thursday afternoon for a live-action remake of a 20th century animated film. Sure, that would have been embarrassing, but it's still better than facing the cold, hard reality of actual box office numbers. And right now, those are not looking good. Would Disney have been better off replacing Zegler entirely? At this point, it might have been cheaper and less of a headache to just remove Rachel Zegler from the movie entirely and reshoot her scenes with a different actress. Think that sounds extreme? It's Hollywood. Stranger things have happened. Studios have scrapped entire films before for far less controversy than this. Zegler's casting was a mistake from the beginning. Her attitude and public statements alienated Disney's core audience. Now, she's become the face of everything. People dislike about the modern remake trend. Disney could have made a bold move, pulled the plug on her involvement, and attempted a last-minute course correction. Instead, they seem to be stuck in damage control mode, hoping the controversy dies down. But that's not happening. At this point, watching Disney's panic over Snow White feels like watching the Titanic's lookout staring at an iceberg, knowing full well there's nothing left to do except brace for impact. The backlash isn't going away. The marketing campaign is a mess. The movie's release is shaping up to be a disaster. And honestly, that's what makes this so entertaining. One way or another, the next few weeks are going to be wild. Whether Snow White 2025 flops hard or becomes Hollywood's latest meme-worthy train wreck. So grab a drink, sit back, and enjoy the show. Because no matter what happens, this is going to be one